Thursday, October the 17th, 2013. As you can see, I'm down in Hassocks, Sussex, about to undertake a approximately 10-mile circular. It's a glorious day, fantastic autumn day after several days of rain and some more due tomorrow, so I've been lucky again, blessed by the sun gods, Apollo and whoever the various other ones are. Anyway, it's about 11:30. Should be done by about 5ish, 5:30 I reckon. So let's get cracking and see what unfolds. In and having crossed a busy road, you've got a choice of two footpaths. Take the one on the right nearest to the railway line, which we now follow for some distance. There is one down there on my left which is marked South Downs and goes up towards Butcher's Wood, I think it is. But we follow this one next to the railway line, which is just over there on my right. I've walked this path before. So as mentioned earlier, walking past Butcher's Wood, managed by the National Trust there on my left, and the busy London to Brighton line on my right. Definitely getting very autumnal now. Leaves are starting to turn and fall, and as you can see underfoot, pretty wet from last few days' rain. Walking past the interestingly named Lagwood on my left. And shortly after, the Downs come into view with the famous windmills up there on the left, Jack and Jill. Yeah, this is what reminds me that I've done this before. This interesting castellated tunnel. Very Victorian. Turn left into New Way Lane, and then we should walk past a pub. That's what lies ahead of us. Woolstonbury Hill. Should get the lungs opened up a bit. Haven't passed any pub yet, mind. Must be in the on the main road, I'd have thought. So turn left off the lane, no pub passed, up this bridleway, which invariably is going to be muddy underfoot. Indeed it is. Fresh hoof prints today. Okay, finally left the slippy, muddy section behind us as we enter the National Trust's Woolstonbury Hill. As you can see, a bit drier underfoot here. Information there about who maintains these stiles, which we're not crossing. Wonderful views. I must add that it's pleasantly balmy today at around 17 degrees. So once again, blessed with the weather. Gentle southwesterly breeze as well, just to keep us cool. Looking back at the I think that's Jack as opposed to Jill windmill as I ascend the outer edges of Woolstonbury Hill. Wonderful views. There is the 196 metre Woolstonbury over there on my right. Not 100% sure I'm on the right track, but we'll soon find out. Further views from a point near Woolstonbury Hill. Just over. Views back towards Hassocks. I'm now on the correct path, having walked for about 20 minutes on the wrong one there and back to the rear of Woolstonbury Hill. Thought it was a bit odd. Anyway, I've corrected myself at the expense of probably 20 minutes. You can hear the busy A road down below me there, which passes by Pycombe, where we're headed. Some rather pleasant, if noisy, views above Pycombe village. A23 below us there. So even up here at about 150 metres, still hear the traffic noise. Some mist over there. I bet this was a pleasant little village until the A23 came along. What a racket. It's around 1 o'clock, just about to cross over the A23. There is a pub here called the Plough in Pycombe, which is up that way somewhere, for those that want a lunchtime pub stop. I'm pressing on, as I normally do. Second National Trust property today, Newtimber Hill. Another walk that I've been through before. 1:15, around 4 miles done now, according to my GPS. That's Saddlescombe ahead of me, Devil's Dyke over there on the right in the distance, which we will probably incorporate into this walk. You can shortcut at this point, but I don't think I will. Getting a bit ominous now. On the fringes of Saddlescombe, and we now meet up with the South Downs Way. Turn right here into Saddlescombe along the stony track. Passing the infamous Hiker's Rest with its opening hours there. Closed Wednesdays, didn't know that. Very pleasant location it has indeed. Good timing as well for this walk, being about 1:30 now, but I'm pressing on. Now onto Summer Down. On the right as I ascend Devil's Dyke. Interesting fungus there, or mushroom, not sure which. Anyway, it's not growing on a tree unusually. Views from the side of Devil's Dyke. Last time I was down here I actually walked up the valley below. It's a fantastic walk either way. Wonderful views. Views down the valley, fantastic. What a fantastic geological feature that is. Classic interlocking. Quite a few people out today, but then again this is one of England's more famous outdoor vistas, and it being 10 to 2, this will make a brilliant point for lunch, seeing as this solitary bench is empty just here. Fantastic timing. Okay, 20 past 2, lunch has been had, and now the valley is empty. Tranquility abounds. Time to press on though, towards the Dyke pub, just up here on my left. Final views across the Devil's Dyke. Views from just in front of the Dyke pub towards Chanctonbury Ring in the far distance there. Just about make it out in the mist. Blowy up here. Interesting little it's a song. So, a bit of history here. These concrete remains apparently are the remnants of a cable car that used to run across the valley. You can see the other remnants on the other side there. Typical Victorian exuberance, I should imagine. We're now walking down the other side of the valley, across Devil's Dyke towards Saddlescombe Farm and the Hiker's Rest, etc. Wonderful views ahead as I descend into the woodland. Some lovely autumn tints creeping in now. Guess there ought to be, as we are in the middle of October. Haven't seen any swallows today, or martins, come to that. Plenty of rosebuds there. Itching powder. Just leaving the National Trust's Devil's Dyke. Around the fringes of Saddlescombe, looking back up towards the Devil's Dyke estate there, from whence I've just come. Interesting memorial at the bottom of Dyke Lane. Having come through the old school, Newtimber hill there on my right, which we were on top of earlier today. Back towards the old school and the Downs backdrop. Another great shot there of Newtimber Hill in the sun. The old schoolhouse in Newtimber, dated 1865, I noticed there in the brickwork, if you look carefully. Actually looks like a chapel. Now a residence. Lovely setting. Newtimber Church, which, as you can hear in the background, is having some work done on it at the moment. Apparently this church is recorded in a Domesday book and certainly looks old enough. Looking across at Newtimber Hill again in the autumn sun. Busy A23, not too far from us at this point. Looking across Round Hill chalk pits, as you can hear, active. That's appropriate. White cows near a chalk pit. Now about to re-enter Woolstonbury Hill. Glorious autumn afternoon. Woolstonbury Hill, with its fortress-like shapes. And over on the left, some great views across the Weald. Interrupted by the busy A23. Noise-wise anyway. Nearly 4 o'clock. Further wonderful views from the side of Woolstonbury Hill. So, emerging from the wooded section, we once again come into view of Jack and Jill windmills. Some great autumn colours up there. As we now descend back to the busy A road and so on to Hassocks. There's the pub I couldn't find this morning, the Jack and Jill Free House, just before the castellated tunnel, railway bridge. 4:30, and I'm now walking back the way I came this morning, which incidentally is 1.5 miles, so that adds 3 miles to the walk total, which is a bit further than I thought, so that makes today's walk about 12 miles. Parting shot of the windmills and the downlands before I enter the wooded section of this return to Hassocks station. Ahead of me there. So just coming up to 10 to 5 back at Hassocks, and that walk just over 12 miles, 12.07 to be exact, including a couple of errors, and it took me 5 hours, including an extra half hour I forgot to take off at lunchtime. So 4.5 hour walk. Weather stayed perfect for an autumn day. Views were fantastic, as you can see in the distance there. So all in all, a little bit of mud today, but that's what you get in the autumn and winter and spring. I've forgotten all about that, to be honest. Haven't seen mud for a while. Anyway, another lovely walk completed.